Okay na.
Kailangan mo yung stage mo.
Wala ka na.
Ay, saan ko ba ito?
Kami nagilang kami.
Ano?
Ay na. Sorry.
First time ko kasi yung
Kunin mo to. Ano to? Kunin mo yan. Embed.
And dun sa
Pasok mo siya dito. Tapos tanggalin mo yung ito lang, ituturo mo.
ay mismo.
Tapos save. Tapos check mo siya dito.
Yan yung size stage. Yan yung size stage. Yan yung size stage. Yan yung size
usually in favor of the urban centers. Every week, health research community celebrates the National Health Research Community celebrates the National
As well,
Health
we
celebrates the
innovation for equity in health. This conference serves well platform for health researchers and health stakeholders to discuss the current situation, challenges, and advancements related to improving health and equity through reinforced studies and innovations, particularly in the regions and local communities. Let's all stand for the singing of the national anthem.
Tanggalin mo yung kowa.
Tanggalin mo yung box.
administrative region. As the Cordillera Region Health Research and Development Consortium is very much privileged to host administrative region. Take note, as the Cordillera Region Health Research and Development Consortium is very much privileged to host health research system. We take note, as the Cordillera Region Health Research and Development Consortium is very much privileged to host health research system. We take note, as Guros, Advocate Cordillera Region Health Research and Development Consortium is very privileged to host health research system. National Conference as Manifest. Advocate Cordillera Region Health Research and Development Consortium is very privileged to host health research system. National Conference as Manifest. Advocate Cordillera Region Health Research and Development Consortium is very privileged to host health research system. National Conference as Manifest. Advocate Cordillera Region Health Research system. National Conference as Manifest. Advocate Cordillera Region Health Research system. National Conference as Manifest. Advocate Cordillera Region Health Research system. National Conference as Manifest. Advocate Cordillera Region. However, this is poor rather on one indicator, and I want to emphasize this: equity, specifically health equity. Within and between countries, income and health disparities are increasing. Inequities within countries are even more blatant than those between low and high income countries. This means that most of the world's poor will soon live in middle income rather than in low income countries. So there is a need not only for more local forums or fora like the PNHRS conference or national conference, but also for more global platforms to be initiated to discuss health progress and by advocating for high-income countries to spend more of their research resources in dealing with diseases of low-income countries. Certainly, this way, it would lessen disparity among peoples of the different countries. The annual conduct of the PNHRS National Conference in the country through sessions like parallel and plenary, regular forums or fora, and focus group discussions serve as an avenue for participants to further discuss the current situation, challenges, and advancements related to improving health and equity through reinforced health and innovations in the region and local communities. This paves the way of setting aside differences in addressing local health concerns. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we therefore welcome all the participants in this national undertaking here in the highest and coldest part of the country, Baguio City, as we all witness the successful conduct of this significant activity. And before I end my talk or my message, let me share a line by Joseph Rothblatt when he said, and I quote, "At a time when science plays such a powerful role in the life of society, when the destiny of the whole of mankind may hinge on the results of scientific research, it is incumbent on all scientists or researchers to be fully conscious of that role and conduct themselves accordingly." Ladies and gentlemen, We should prepare, and we are now preparing and charting a better earth for this generation and the next generations ahead. With that, welcome to Cordillera Administrative Region. Good morning.
Thank you, Dr. Kasipi. The 12th PNHR's Week celebration would not be possible without the support of its major implementing agencies. At this juncture, let us hear the message from the DOST Secretary Fortunato P. de la Peña, to be read by DOST Assistant Secretary for Finance and Legal Affairs, Attorney Emmanuel S. Galvez.
Our esteemed national scientist and keynote speaker, Dr. Ernesto Domingo. PNHRS implementing agencies representing the chair, the executive director, Napoleon B. Imperial, representing the University of the Philippines, Chancellor of UP Manila, Dr. Carmencita Padilla, representing the Department of Health, our Assistant Regional Director, Dr. Amenita Pangilinan, Lead Coordinator of PNHRS and PCHRD's Executive Director, Dr. Jaime C. Montoya, Chair of the Cordillera Regional Health Research and Development Consortium, Dr. Maria Geraldine F. Casipi, UP Baguio Chancellor Dr. Raimundo D. Rovillos as Chair of the Organizing Committee. From the Department of Science and Technology, the Food and Nutrition Research Institute Director Dr. Mario Capanzana, Regional Director for CAR Nancy Banto, Regional Director for Region 4A Alex Madrigal, Region 8 Regional Director Ed Esperancilla, Region 10 Regional Director Al Alamban, Region 3 Director JC Sikat, fellow workers in government, participants from the 17 Regional Health Research Consortia, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po. I have the privilege of reading the message of Secretary Fortunato T. de la Peña, Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, in today's opening ceremonies for the 12th Philippine National Health Research System Week celebration, Research and Innovation for Equity in Health, as follows. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate the 12th Philippine National Health Research System Week and 12 years of cooperation of stakeholders who work together towards the integration of health research efforts in the country for better health. Themed Research and Innovation for Equity in Health, this year's celebration focuses on the right of everyone to access resources needed to improve or maintain their health situation, regardless of class, gender, ethnicity, and socioeconomic status. To borrow the definition of the World Health Organization, equity is the absence of avoidable or remediable differences among groups of people, whether those groups are defined socially, economically, demographically, or geographically. Health equity refers to the fair opportunity for everyone to attain their full health potential. Health is a fundamental right. However, evidences show that the social factors such as the level of education, employment status, gender, and ethnicity have influenced the health status of individuals. According to the World Health Organization, the lower an individual's socioeconomic position, the higher the risk for poor health. Given this, we are faced with a challenge to find ways on how research and innovation can improve equity in health. How can research and innovation, traditionally seen as work of people in ivory towers, touch people's everyday lives? In art, it provides solutions to their health needs. We believe that we need to undertake the full cycle of listening to people's health needs, undertaking research and innovation to come up with solutions to health problems, communicating the results to people who will use the results, and assessing the impact of research and innovation results on people's health. The Philippine National Health Research System is anchored on the principles of essential national health research on inclusiveness, participation, quality, equity, and effectiveness. Guided by these principles, we work towards ensuring that health research is linked to the health system needs. Investments in health research yield the most benefit, and resources for health research are sustained. In developing the National Unified Health Research Agenda, the country's roadmap for health research and development efforts. Consultations were made in all regions with stakeholders across sectors and disciplines in a bottom-up process followed by an integration process to come up with the NUHRA. As a research agenda, research in equity and health was identified as one of the 6 research themes along with responsive health systems, research to enhance and extend healthy lives, holistic approaches, health resiliency, and global competitiveness and innovation in health. The regional consultations yielded the Regional Unified Health Research Agenda. The RURA defines the research priorities of a region by taking into consideration its peculiarities and local context, thus providing a more inclusive, realistic, and collaborative health research agenda. In the latest ethical guidelines for health and health-related research developed by the Philippine Health Research Ethics Board, protection to marginalized groups, including minors or children, older persons, people with disabilities, and indigenous peoples are emphasized. To ensure the research expertise is spread nationwide, the 17 regional consortia conduct training and other capacity building activities to capacitate their member institutions, thus widening the base of researchers who can contribute to providing solutions to pressing health problems. In addition, the Department of Science and Technology's Science for Change program is aggressively building more centers of research excellence outside of Metro Manila. The PNHRS communication plan takes into account building the capacity of regional consortia to develop and execute their communication plans so that the results of research reach their target communities. 7 regional consortia already came up with their communication plans to deliver the right health information to their stakeholders in the regions. Equity in health is about empowerment of individuals and communities to challenge and change their situation. In empowering the community, we should ensure that the fruits of research and innovation reach the communities through knowledge sharing and capacity building. We should engage our stakeholders to become the major players in solving their own health problems while we develop stronger policies that encourage everyone to seek their highest level of health. May the PNHRS Week be a good platform to discuss the current situation, challenges, and advancements pertaining our country and our people's health. Let us learn from one another and may the rest of the week be productive for all of us. Again, congratulations on your 12 excellent years. Maraming salamat po at muli magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
That was the USC Assistant Secretary Attorney Calves. Thank you very much. At this point, we would like also to acknowledge the presence of our DOH Assistant Secretary, Dr. Enrique Tayag. Together with DOST, another committed partner in health research is the Department of Health. The Department of Health and the DOST has forged partnership bound by the mandates and objectives of the Philippine National Health Research System. Part of the mandate in this collaborative effort to improve the health status and quality of life of Filipinos is to ensure that investments in health research yield the most benefits for the general population. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the message of the Department of Health Secretary Francisco Duque III and Undersecretary of Health Dr. Mario Villaverde, let's all welcome the DOH CAR Assistant Regional Director Dr. Abelita Pangilinan.
At the outset, please allow me to convey my personal greetings, isang malab at malusog na pagbati ng magandang Cordillera, maulan na Baguio sa ating lahat. Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be with you all. Undersecretary Mario Villaverde sends his warmest greetings to all of you, and he and the Health Policy Development and Planning Bureau team, or the HPDPB in Manila, are working with the Senate Committee on Health on the Universal Health Care Bill, which is being heard in the Senate. It is my honor and pleasure to represent the DOH in this week of celebration. Allow me to deliver his speech. To Dr. Ernesto Domingo, our keynote speaker and national scientist, Dr. Ma Geraldine F. Casipit, the chair of the Cordillera Regional Health Research and Development Consortium, and members of the CRHRDC, the PNHRS, or the Philippine National Health Research System implementing agencies, DOST, Assistant Secretary for Finance and Legal Affairs, Attorney Emmanuel S. Galvez, Chief Deputy Executive Director Napoleon B. Imperial, the Chancellor of UP Manila, Dr. Carmencita Padilla, Lead Coordinator of the Philippine National Health Research and the Philippine Council for Health Research Development Executive Director, Dr. Jaime C. Montoya, UP Baguio Chancellor, Dr. Raimundo D. Rovillos, the Chair of the Organizing Committee,
My DOH family, headed by Assistant Secretary Eric Tayag, and composed of the different regional directors, assistant regional directors, medical center chiefs, chairing and co-chairing the different regional research consortia nationwide, our esteemed resource speakers, facilitators, and the different local chief executives, gawi-gawi sa abot ako amin. The Philippine National Health Research has continued to be the platform for everyone committed to advancing health research in the country. Sincere thanks goes out to all our partner agencies, UP, NIH, CHED, and most especially DOST, PCHRD, who has helped us immensely in research management and who continues to steer the Philippine National Health Research System. To all our colleagues from the research consortia and academic institutions, both from the government and the private sector, fellow policymakers and decision makers, a pleasant morning to everyone. In the last few years, the country has been investing more for health, as evidenced by the total health expenditure growing from about 381 billion pesos in 2010 to 655 billion pesos in 2016, particularly for the public sector. Fiscal space for health has significantly expanded due to the sin taxes for health. This enabled, among others, increase in the National Health Insurance Program or the NHIP coverage from 51% in 2010 to 91% in 2016. Rise in capital investments and deployed frontline health workers and additional health commodities. However, these investments have not translated much to improvements in key service coverage and financial protection indicators. For example, child immunization is at its lowest in 25 years at 60%. Out-of-pocket payment, the most regressive form of financing, continues to be the most dominant form of payment. Our attainment of universal health care is then premised on how well we address the following major obstacles. First, inequitable access to quality primary care services, primarily due to unjust distribution of health resources. Second, inefficient financing system with many pools of funds with little leverage. Third, highly fragmented public and private health providers. And last but not least, lack of clarity in roles leading to blurred lines of accountability. Through the leadership of Secretary Francisco T. Duque III, the DOH has launched the Formula One Plus for Health agenda to boost the country's efforts towards universal health care. As Secretary Duque would say, F1 Plus for health is not just a reform, but a transformation agenda for the DOH. It is meant to regain the trust it once enjoyed from the public and truly live up to its role as the overall technical authority in health. This implies that all its policies, plans, programs in support of the four pillars of financing, service delivery, governance, and regulation must be based on timely and high-quality evidence. Moreover, the plus
Cross-cutting initiative of performance accountability can only be truly possible by valid evidence that supports action. Hence, it is clear to the DOH that health policy and systems research, or the HPSR, is a cornerstone for driving F1 Plus for health. HPSR is not very new to us. As early as the 1990s, the DOH has realized the value of evidence to support policy making and created the essential National Health Research Program. However, financing remained minimal. But from 2012 to 2017, the investments leapfrogged to more than 500 million pesos. Through the Health Systems Research Management Program, this resulted to the production of about 191 researchers and the training of 130 research fellows. While many of these researchers have served as inputs to develop new, amend outdated, or monitor progress of existing policies, particular examples include successful translation, is a study which formed the basis for the President's executive order banning firecrackers on New Year's Day, and the strong evidence for sugar-sweetened beverage tax, which was passed into law last December. Under the F1 Plus for Health, we aim to raise more revenues by increasing sin tax further, close the gap in underserved areas using DOH regulatory powers, hold stakeholders accountable through regular publication of scorecards, and institute fair priority setting for benefits. All Filipinos are entitled to, among many others. This will be difficult to execute without building a strong culture of research in policy making and community of producers and users of HPSR. In 2017, the Department of Health launched HSRM's follow-up program for the medium term, the AHEAD, or Advancing Health Towards Evidence-Assisted Decisions. This is a program that all of you co-developed through your enthusiastic participation, persistent constructive feedback, and unwavering support. Since its inception, 10 study groups have been formed, doing in-house analytical work. 5 institutions have been awarded 3-year grants, and 24 more projects are underway, all positioned to support F1 Plus for health. Yet we also know that the AHEAD program, a collaboration with the PCHRD, is only a component of a broader strategy for HPSR. Hence, I enjoin all of you to support the full implementation of F1 Plus through your contribution to the Philippine National Health Research System. Let us communicate openly to collaborate creatively, but also criticize fairly if necessary. The DOH more than ever needs your support to enact reforms that may be difficult at first, but are expected to be truly beneficial or felt by the people. Let us all work together towards a healthier Philippines, contributing to the realization of Ambisyon 2014. Mabuhay at maraming salamat. Gawi-gawi sa agaw takuan in. Thank you, Dr. Pangilinan. In 2007, the Commission on Higher Education and the University of the Philippines, Manila, joined the PNHRS system as core agencies. We are honored to have Deputy Executive Director 4, Napoleon P. Imperial, on behalf of CHED's Commissioner Prospero E. De Vera III. Let's give him a round of applause.
Anyway, he's not here. But our most esteemed national scientist and former EP Manila Chancellor, Dr. Ernesto Domingo. I hope he will still here.
Wala pa siya.
DOST Assistant Secretary, Tony Galvez, about
Sir,
DOH Assistant Regional Director,
Deputy
Dr.
Executive Director
Medina Pangilinan,
Wala.
representing Prospero.
Okay.
our good friend, Chancellor Menchi Padilla, another friend, EP Baguio Chancellor, Dr. Raimundo Revillos, and of course my chat colleague, OIC Regional Director, Gigi Casipit. Pleasant, foggy morning to all of us. Let me start on a personal note. At last, I made it this time after previous conference invitations of my friend, Dr. Jimmy Montoya, which I could not attend despite the fact that R&D policy in the health sector is so close to my heart, both as a student of R&D policy and as a civil servant for higher education. Why is health research a favorite area of R&D policy? I guess it's because it involves and implies matter of life and death. The R&D in this sector is more subject to stronger public pressure and hence most likely to respond quickly towards public accountability. Hence, it behooves more conscious efforts towards immediate and deliberate utilization of the research outcomes. And this brings to mind a classic statement of Professor Dr. Edward Crowley of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology during the panel discussion we had in the 4th International Open Innovations Forum and Technology Show in 2015, which I attended in Moscow, Russia. Reminiscent of the long-running debate about the utilitarian university as against the ivory tower model, his statement clearly sided with the former, which I fully agree with. As I quote his summarizing statement, he said, "Science is good, but what we need is a science that serves the people." For this reason, my own research topic as a doctoral student many years back focused on the organization and management factor in the productivity of university-based R&D of Cuba, particularly on the health sector's outstanding achievement in attaining self-reliance and self-sufficiency in the field of pharmaceuticals, thus highlighting the role of innovation towards equity and accessibility of health services. So now, let me congratulate the PNHRS, the PCHRD, and the organizers of this conference to celebrate the PNHRS Week, which is no doubt excellently organized and well attended. Naman, mabongga. As I look at the scope of the conference, your 12 celebrations theme of research and innovation for equity in health resonates well in this stage of the finalization of the CHED's own strategic plan for the next medium term. As our strat plan is taking shape, the Commission's policy discussions on the management and funding of research, among others, would like to put more emphasis on the aspect of deliberate research utilization. By this, we wish to see a more publicly accountable R&D management of programs that should translate the findings of outputs into the development of new products, services, strategies, or procedures of doing things, and more immediately into solid basis of policy formulation in almost all aspects of public administration and service delivery. Thus, it is a great pleasure to see that your conference program features sessions on translating research into policy, from research to public health programs, technotrans practices, and you have invited speakers on research utilization, herbal medicine, doctors for indigenous health, and ethical issues. It's very important, among others. Health, being one of the basic services that must be made more accessible in any modern society, is a critical area of research. Hence, the need for an interagency system to support health research. For the past several years, the outputs of health researchers, many, if not all of them, active in the PNHRS, have informed and benefited national policies like the Newborn Screening Act of 2004, the Universal Newborn Hearing Screening and Intervention Act of 2009, the Public Act 3531, restructuring syntaxes of alcohol and tobacco, and the latest is the Comprehensive Mental Health Act of 2018, among others. CHED further appreciates the interdisciplinary and broad approach to health research that the PNHRS represents. Although many of those involved in the system are medical doctors, health research, we believe, as most of you do, is not just about medicine or drugs, but also about the broader societal context and the other disciplines that shed light upon this context. Lest it be construed that the totality or the entire scope of health research is solely about drugs or medicine, medical services, and hospitals, we go back to Hippocrates, the father of medicine himself, who once said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." With this time-validated Hippocratic wisdom, should we not look at the entire spectrum that begins and integrates with nutrition, and recognizing that the foundation of good and sustainable health is no other than nutrition? Furthermore, while in many cases health sounds purely medical, the decision on which food to eat is influenced by societal factors. The tax on sugar, which is a part of Republic Act 1063, or the train law, is a good example of how policy can redirect consumption away from unhealthy food substances. However, nariyan na yan, we can be consoled that even among those who already reached the point where medicines are part of their diet, those on maintenance, for example, the fruits of the work of health researchers in the passage of the Universally Accessible, Cheaper, and Quality Medicines Act of 2008 has made the situation bearable. The Commission, therefore, is proud to be part of the PNHRS. Most recently, in our own ways, we have supported health research by making translational medicine Vice Chancellor Mendy. He used to be part of us. As one of the two components of the Philippine California Advanced Research Institute, or PICARI, the government, through CHEC, invested billions in this undertaking, not only to conduct research, but also to simultaneously develop highly capacitated human resource who can do high-end R&D, work at par with one of the best universities in the world, the University of California system. Aside from PICARI, health researchers, together with the researchers in other fields, have been grants in aid, financing through their respective higher education institutions for smaller projects of up to 10 million pesos. We hope to support more early career researchers who might not yet have the track record to secure big grants to jumpstart their research. We also continue to support health researchers who present their findings in meetings and reputable or non-predatory conferences abroad through our funding for paper presentations. After the review of the current policies, we will be able to open this again for applications, hopefully by the first quarter of 2019, together with our awards for high-quality research. Moreover, we recognize that quality researchers are important in ensuring a vibrant research environment. CHED has opened opportunities for aspiring or budding researchers in the higher education system, including health researchers to pursue further studies abroad through our K-12 transition programs. As you know, we also have partnership with Fulbright, Campus France, selected UK universities through the Newton Agham, among others, to ensure willing and capable faculty members can upgrade their qualification, have international exposure, and can engage in international collaboration. Earlier on, I touched on the importance and the noble aspect of long-term self-reliance, especially in health, again, because of this matter of life and death. Promoting self-reliance and sufficiency require strong political will, institutional creativity, and proper exercise of self-determination in scientific matters on the part of relevant partner agencies, particularly the so-called research-intensive universities like the University of the Philippines and its national health institutes. Universities are supposed to enjoy academic freedom, which the chair fully supports, as the agency, as you know, was created by law to protect it. I wish to emphasize that one strength that the PNHRS harnessed and served supports is the autonomy and academic freedom enjoyed by our higher education institutions so that they can freely determine and pursue their academic and research agenda in the greater service of the people. Our researchers from UP, among others, from the higher education system, have the academic freedom and societal commitment to pursue research, not for profit, but for the general welfare. As a matter of fact, health researchers are finding ways to make technology in medicine cheaper and accessible. For instance, the HELE, or Hearing for Life project led by Dr. Chan Lok Chong of the College of Medicine of UP Manila. Is he here? Okay. It aims to reduce the cost of the screening device by more than 70% to make hearing screening accessible. This would have been less likely if these brilliant minds are housed in the R&D of profit corporations. Higher education institutions like UP provide an institutional home where love for country and research excellence can bear fruits for the common good. Moving forward, I hope the PNHRS will continue to inspire more researchers from the different disciplines and explore possibilities of medical pluralism. Why? to work towards the goal of universal health care, such that no Juan or Juana will die of sickness without receiving care from our health system due to lack of resources and very restrictive and costly therapies and healing arts. We long for the day when no family becomes poor because of the cost of hospitalization and healthcare, but instead they can get well through scientifically proven alternatives to conventional health and medicine and medical delivery. In both these aspirations, PNHRS will have a keynote to play. I would like to close with heartfelt greetings and best wishes of the Commission on the occasion of the 12th PNHRS Week. With what your celebration is tackling in 4 days, I know that the future of the health of the Filipinos is brighter than ever. To paraphrase and contextualize our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, El Filibusterismo, we also ask, where are the young researchers who will consecrate their golden hours, their illusions, and their enthusiasm to the welfare of their native land? Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen them among the participants of the Right Shot for young researchers and in the classrooms of higher education institutions. Hence, CHED is solidly one with the health research system in the development of the new generation of researchers. Thank you for your inspiring work in research, and I wish all of you a successful celebration and the days of work that will follow. Mabuhay at maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Director Imperial. And to complete the four implementing agencies of the PNHRS is the University of the Philippines, Manila, through the National Institute of Health, the country's leading institution for health research and development. Let us now listen to the Chancellor of UB Manila, Dr. Carmencita Padilla, for her message.
Our esteemed national scientist, Inessa Domingo, Dr. Maria Casipit, Maria Geraldine Casipit, Chair of Cordillera Regional Health Research and Development Consortium, DOST Assistant Secretary for Finance and Legal Affairs, Attorney Emmanuel Galvez, DOH CAR Assistant Regional Director, Dr. Amelita Pangilinan, and Director for Knowledge Management Information Technology Service, Dr. Eric, Chair Deputy Director, Executive Director, Napoleon Imperial, our lead coordinator of PNHRS and PCHRD's Executive Director, Dr. Jimmy Montoya, and of course, the chair of the organizing committee of today's very successful celebration, UB Baguio Chancellor Ray Remedios. A pleasant good morning to all. It is an honor and pleasure to be part of the celebration of the 12th Philippine National Health Research System Week. On behalf of UP Manila and as a member of the PNHRS Governing Council, I welcome you to this conference and thank the Cordillera Regional Health Research and Development Consortium for hosting this year's program. Being with distinguished colleagues and co-workers in the academe and health community is a rare privilege and opportunity. I extend to everyone my warm welcome and greetings. Republic Act number 10532, an act institutionalizing the Philippine National Health Research System, enacted on July 23, 2012, has made the conduct of health researches more coordinated, systematic, and responsive by ensuring that health researches are linked to the health system needs and promoting good governance among health research organizations. As in previous celebrations, this forum is a good opportunity to discuss pressing health research issues and challenges. For this year, the theme Research and Innovation for Equity in Health echoes the imperative to advance health equity through research. Health equity is the attainment of the highest level of health for all people. Achieving health equity requires valuing everyone equally with focused and ongoing efforts to address avoidable inequalities, historical and contemporary injustices, and the elimination of health and healthcare disparities. As one of the core agencies of PNHRS, UP Manila is committed to support its vision of creating a vibrant, dynamic, and responsible health research community through the National Institutes of Health. Yesterday and today, you've heard many times being mentioned. You have the UP Chancellor of Baguio, Dr. Villas, and myself as UP Manila Chancellor as one of the partners. So allow me to introduce you a little to the University of the Philippines. UP is actually a system. There are 8 constituent universities. You have UP Baguio, UP Los Baños, UP Diliman, UP Manila, UP Cebu, UP Visayas, UP Mindanao, and the Open University. I mentioned all the 8 universities as possible partners of any of your projects linked to health, and UP will be your connection to any of these 8 universities. For UP Manila is the health campus of the University of the Philippines system. We have 9 degree granting units from the Arts and Sciences, Allied Medical Professions, College of Medicine, College of Nursing, College of Public Health, College of Dentistry, the College of the National Teachers Training and Health Professions. Each of these colleges work with the National Institutes of Health in pushing forward the health agenda of the university and the country. But within UP Manila are 2 non-degree granting units, and that will be the Philippine General Hospital and the National Institutes of Health. The mission of NIH is partnerships for better health, and we are very happy to be part, to be one of the pillars of PNHRS in pushing forward its vision. NIH is a very complex organization, relatively young. The university is more than 100 years old. The College of Medicine is 111 years old. But NIH is only 20 years old. Established in 1998 as an opportunity to put together, to organize the health agenda, the health research within the university in the country, NIH was born. So allow me to mention the different institutes, different research institutes and research centers within the NIH, wherein you again can actually partner with in any of the ideas that you have in mind. So we have 10 research institutes and 4 centers. The institutes are Institute of Aging, Institute of Child Health and Development, Institute of Clinical Epidemiology, the Institute of Human Genetics, the Philippine National Ear Institute, the Philippine Eye Research Institute, the Institute of Health Policy and Development Studies, the Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, the Institute of Herbal Medicine, and the National Institute of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology. There are 4 centers within NIH. You have the Newborn Screening Reference Center, the Newborn Hearing Reference Center, the National Telehealth Center, and the youngest of the set of centers will be the National Center for Biosafety and Biosecurity. Each of these colleges and each of the centers, institutes within NIH are here to partner with any university government or private, to make sure that together we can produce better research that can be used by government for policies. So for the past 2 decades, the NIH has resolutely pursued its commitment to conduct relevant and priority health researches in support of national efforts to improve the Filipinos' access to optimal health. We continue to dialogue with the Department of Health and the DOST on what should be the priority researches of our faculty as well as research faculty. To name a few, in the interest of equity, some of the big projects that they're working on are diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, infectious diseases like dengue and TB, which we all know do not only affect the rich, but also the ordinary one and one of the Philippines. The NIH is considered a driving force behind many advances that have been contributing to the health of the Filipinos, and we want to do more in partnership with all of you. It continues to serve its mandate to be a major researcher, health research and capability building. To any college or regional group in the audience, you may want to establish an ethics review board. By all means, we have again the NIH here to serve you to make sure that you will be able to establish this in your center. We do all of this to develop outputs that serve as vital guideposts in shaping national programs and policies. Now, some of these technologies, allow me to just mention a few of the technologies or programs where NIH has been significantly engaged in the past 2 decades. And allow me to just mention some of the major policies that have come out of NIH. Of course, the Newborn Screening Act 2004, the Universal Newborn Hearing Screening and Intervention Act of 2009, the Rare Diseases Act of 2016, the mandatory vaccination of newborns with hepatitis B, and the commercialization of some of our herbal products like Lecundi and some balm. These are some of the examples wherein research have moved on to the field of policy. The fulfillment of UP Manila's Research Trust benefit from collaborative platform of the Metro Manila Health Research and Development Consortium, or MMHRDC. MMHRDC activities focus on providing opportunities for health researchers to interact and learn from each other, share experiences and best practices, and contribute evidence-based solutions to the myriad health problems confronting us. These are clear validations of the vital roles of collaborative platforms in achieving health research goals. Without collaboration, we will not be able to help our people. Collaboration is a major key that should be part of our agenda. Over the years, PNHRS has proven to be an effective mechanism for the coordination and conduct of collaborative researches that are significant and responsive to our needs and conditions. Researches that truly address the country's Filipinos' health needs and aspirations. To PNHRS, more power to you and happy 12th anniversary. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Thank you, Dr. Padilla. The lead secretariat of the PNHRS is the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development. The Council is responsible for smooth implementation of programs and projects and for overseeing the PNHRS. To report the PNHRS accomplishment the past year, that's called the lead coordinator of PNHRS, and PCHRD's Executive Director, Dr. Jaime C. Montoya.
Thank you very much. There are already a series of acknowledgements, and I'd just like to acknowledge them by groups. The distinguished officials and luminaries from the core agencies of the Philippine National Health Research System. From my department, the Department of Science and Technology, from the Department of Health, from the Commission for Higher Education, and the National Institutes of Health in UP Manila. I'd like to especially mention the Regional Health Research and Development Consortia in all 17 regions, which we consider as the heart of the National Health Research System. Without you, the DHRS would not be where it is now. Of course, in particular, I'd like to acknowledge the Cordillera Health Research and Development Consortium for a very successful 12th PHILIPPINE celebration. Even this early, I can say that it is in fact a big success. And if I may say, based on the latest count, it may turn out to be the biggest number of delegates ever to attend our PLHRS week. Congratulations. I'd like to just especially acknowledge some people who were not yet acknowledged. I'd like to acknowledge, of course, Dr. Susan Pineta Mercado, Special Envoy for Health, appointed by the President. Our special guests representing specific sectors. I'd like to recognize Dr. Ryan Ginaran, from the Doctors for Indigenous Health and Mutually Competent Training, Education, Networking, and Governance, Dr. Ryan. Thank you very much. We have Dr. Francis Gomez. We have, of course, Mayor from Siargao, Mayor Alfredo Toro. And all of the, as I said, all of the researchers, academicians, people who have worked with us and will be working with us, both young and old, in different sectors of private and government under the Philippine National Health Research System. I'd like to wish you all good morning. Naimbag na bigat kada kayo amin. I'd like to request at this juncture for everyone to direct your attention to the screen as we present to you our work as a system, which we have been doing for the past year and for several years, and what has been achieved so far in terms of research management, ethics, capacity building, research utilization, structure organization, monitoring and evaluation, and resource mobilization.
Baklas ang USB.
Yung mga nasa ilalim na capacity.
Balik ka, balik ka.
Ganun pa rin.
As you can see, we've done much, but we still have to do more. And at this juncture, I, of course, like to again acknowledge all the work and effort of the whole PCHRD, DOST, all of the regional health research and development consortia in all 17 regions. We're actually in all 17 regions. I'd like to acknowledge all of your hard work and support. And I'd like to request all of our regional health research and development consortia to stay in contact with everyone and for you to actually submit regularly your reports so that we're able to consolidate them so that at the end of the day we'll be able to appreciate the efforts of everyone and present them to all or people who are interested in finding out what we. I think this is a testimony to what we can do. Your presence today is a commitment of to address the remaining challenges ahead in the area of health research. Because ultimately, we all hope to provide the best a better life or quality of life for each and every Filipino. I'd like to again thank the host consortium. Hindi ko matapos pasalamatan yung palapakan natin muli ang Cordillera Health Research and Development Consortium. We're truly elated and happy. You know, every year tumataas ang ating bar. And yung susunod na mag-host ng PHRS and here in Baguio City. Thank you very much, and I look forward to a very successful, very participative, engaging week ahead of us for the NHR. Thank you very much for the report and your message, of course, Dr. Montoya. To have an in-depth understanding of today's theme, we have invited one of the Philippines' most outstanding physicians. May we call the chairperson of the organizing committee of this year's PNHRS and the UP Baguio Chancellor, Dr. Raimundo Rubilius, to introduce our keynote speaker.
It is a great honor for me to introduce our today's keynote speaker. We are thankful that amidst his responsibilities, he managed to travel to Baguio to magnify our conference today.
Dr. Ernesto O. Domingo received his medical degree from the University of the Philippines, Manila, and acquired his specialization in internal medicine at the Philippine General Hospital. He further specialized in
Sir,
gastroenterology
umangat.
and
Umangat siya.
hepatology at Case Western Reserve University in
Sa akin
Cleveland,
hindi.
Ohio. Upon his return to the Philippines, Dr. Domingo spent over 4 decades in UP Manila as a researcher, teacher, chancellor, and university professor emeritus. He founded, along with a number of colleagues, the Universal Healthcare UHC study group in the hope of advancing universal healthcare in the country through research and advocacy.
Not my special.
The group's efforts became the basis for the Department of Health's Universal Health Care Program dubbed Kalusugang Pangkalahatan. He received his distinguished honors and recognitions throughout his career, including being elected as academician of the National Academy of Science and Technology in 1992, the Civil Service Commission Dangal ng Bayan Award, the Science Achievement Award in Medicine from the National Researchers Council of the Philippines, among others. He was given the rank and title of National Scientist of the Philippines for his work in internal medicine and gastroenterology in 2010 and received international acclaim when he was honored with the Ramon Magsaysay Award in 2013 for his work in addressing the challenges in the public health system. Today, Dr. Domingo has a private medical practice and holds clinic in Manila's best hospitals. He honors service to the nation through his work as an advisor and consultant to major research projects in health and healthcare. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome National Scientist Ramon Magsaysay Awardee, known for his exemplary embrace of the social mission of medical science and his profession, and his steadfast leadership in pursuing health for all, Dr. Ernesto O. Domingo.
Katabi mo, boss.
Thank you very much. Thank you. In the University of the Philippines, and maybe in many academic institutions, meetings are notoriously long. And when I was chancellor, our meetings were really long, and usually one of the participants will make a motion. I move for the adjournment of the meeting by reason of exhaustion. So if any of you would like to make a move by reason of exhaustion, I'll be happy to step down. Now, let me do what we normally call the housekeeping function in any address like this. And I will abbreviate it because the personalities have already been fairly well acknowledged and introduced. So, to Dr. Maria Geraldine Casipit, Assistant Secretary for Finance of DOST, Attorney Emmanuel Galvez, Director Dr. Amelia Pangilinan, Executive Director Napoleon B. Imperial, my own Chancellor and Boss, Dr. Carmencita Padilla, Executive Director Jaime C. Montoya, Dr. Chancellor Dr. Raimundo Remedios. Thank you very much. Now, having done my housekeeping function, let me say that what I prepared has nothing to do with the topic. And therefore, I feel obliged to say about this, the theme of your conference, because in fact, this is closest to my heart at the moment. In 2010, a World Commission published a report, and this was known as the Lancet Report. 20 most prominent ministers of health were members of this. And they made the following observation. They said, and I will quote, not completely correct, completely word for word, but the essence is here. They said that the single most important health problem in the world is not a disease. We doctors always think of health problems as disease. They said it's not about a disease. It's about the problem of inequity within nations and among nations. Such that while the medical advances in science is tremendous and has resulted in the doubling of the human lifespan in just a matter of 1 century, this
Something problem.
expansion of human lifespan has not been enjoyed by all. In the Philippines, for example, if you happen to belong to the lowest quintile of the population in terms of economic status, you will be lucky if you alive beyond 60. But if you live in a gated village, like myself, no, I don't live in a gated village. The point is they live to be more than 80 years old. Within a country where the disparity in survival is more than 20 years old, there must be something wrong in here. And the reason for that is inequity. Therefore, in 2008, the late Secretary Kwasi Romualdez, I saw Pichi, his wife here, and I, after we delivered the centennial lecture in the course of the 100th year of the university, decided that we will embark on an advocacy to achieve universal health care as the first major and important response to address the problem of inequity in this country. It took 10 years and before a law is crafted, and we are very optimistic that the law will be approved this year. And this is just a small beginning, because the real challenge of universal health care is not in the passage of the law, but in its implementation. For your information, it took Germany from the time of Bismarck a total of 105 years to implement universal health care. England, which is noted for the excellent civil service, took all of 49 years to put in place a working universal health care. One of the fastest is Thailand. Started their move in 2002, and they are now fully universal health care covered. How long it will take the Philippines? Certainly, I am not optimistic. I will no longer be here. As you can see, I wrote my little speech in a yellow pad. The reason for that is I don't know how to use the iPad. So I have to write in longhand. Now, I will not deliver a speech, especially in relation to research, the formalistic aspect of research, like conduct of research, research administration, institution, and research activity. No, I will not do that, because you will have 4 days for that. Neither will I deliver a speech, because I hate speech. What I love is storytelling. So what I will do, I will share a series of stories. Unfortunately, this is very risky. The story involves myself. That's always a risk, no? Because when you use yourself as the example in the story, The old people in my generation will say, ay yabang-yabang yan, binubuhat ang sariling bangko. At the risk of being branded somebody who is binubuhat ang sariling bangko, I will go ahead anyway and do the story. Because your research has a very, very human aspect. And this is the whole point that I am going to do. The human side, the one that is not written in research journal about research. I would like to share with you, after the series of experience I have, my reflection on what research is. And it will touch on really 4 items. Number 1 is, what is our motivation for doing research? Beyond the employment connotation, just to get a job. What is our motivation? Second is, what are the elements that favors success in research? Is it because Dr. Montoya will give you several millions, they will give you a good facility like what the Chancellor is building, a 1.2 billion NIH new National Institute of Health building? Is that the element that ensures success? The third is, I'd like to share a little, and this will incur me a lot of enemies, to say a few things about 2 things. Number 1, the ethical screening of our research, as well as the technical review. And I'm sure I will not be welcome after this by some people. And then I would like to make a pitch for very short, and I call this, let's move on, and I will be very specific at the end of this. Let me start this morning's rumination by recounting a very true story. No? And this story, it is about the English physicist Michael Faraday. Faraday's scientific interest was the relationship between magnetism and electricity. Currently, at this moment, even a high school graduate, especially the graduated from the Philippine Science High School, will have full knowledge of the relationship between electricity and magnetism. In the sense that one can produce electricity by disturbing the magnetic field, and one can induce a magnetic field by manipulating electricity. That was not a common knowledge during the time of Faraday. At any rate, Faraday was able to develop in his laboratory a model of what we now know as the electric generator. As development would have it, production of electricity on a commercial basis eventually became possible as an offshoot of this discovery. Even then, the potential application of new discoveries was not immediately recognized. A classic example of the potential of a discovery is Einstein's famous equation, energy equals mass times the square root of the speed of light. Who would ever think that it will result in the production of electricity through nuclear fission or fusion, or the atomic bomb? This was not in the minds of those who were working there. It's simply something else. Let me continue with Faraday. And so it was that when Faraday presented his discovery to the Prime Minister of England by the name of Mr. Gladstone, probably hoping, as all of us do, for at least an enthusiastic response, what did the Prime Minister instead say? And he asked this in the typical English cheating way, stiff-lipped, to quote, "And what is the usefulness of the electricity that you produce in your laboratory, Mr. Faraday?" Mr. Faraday said, "Why, sir, there is every possibility that soon after this, you will be able to impose tax on it." That was the answer. We now know that Faraday's prophecy was fulfilled because we pay government huge amounts of money, tax money, for the electricity we use and consume daily. So, Faraday, as a result of discovery, was offered a knighthood by the Queen. He refused it. He was offered the presidency of the British National Academy of Science. He refused it. And he said, I just want to remain a simple Mr. Faraday. Maybe he was picked by what the Prime Minister did to him. The inevitable question that arises out of this story is addressed to us researchers, especially those of us in the biomedical field. Did we embark on our research career with the ultimate aim of finding something that we have practical application for, or do we start simply to find, do we do research simply to find out the answer to a question that fascinates us? The biographer Conrad Keating hazards an answer to this question when he said, and I quote, perhaps it is the excitement and the fun of science that it was all right to be wrong and that what was important was to enjoy the thrill of the experiment. In return, and with a little luck, the work would, in some small way, be relevant to the people in need of help. The conduct of research has certainly metamorphosed from the simple pleasure of knowing to the more heroic imperative of ameliorating. While research for the what, the how, and the why will endure, every now and then the question will be asked, for what and for whom? But the primordial engine of research is curiosity. Many more benefits, many more beneficial research output coming out of curiosity will happen than the desire or the explicit conduct of work to produce a beneficial result. So let me start from that little story and assumption and tell you my own journey into research just to highlight the four items that I just mentioned earlier. For example, after, even as a medical student, after going through parasitology, and I saw John Belisario here, the authority on this, we use the textbook Craig and Faust. And the textbook of Craig and describes, for example, the reaction of the human body to the eggs of a parasite called Schistosoma japonicum deposited in the tissue, either in the liver or the intestine, as a foreign body type reaction. When you say foreign body type reaction, you look under the microscope. The reaction, in fact, resembles the reaction of the body when you get a splinter of wood under the skin, or a foreign body getting into your body. But at the same time, if you look at other conditions, for example, tuberculosis, sarcoidosis, you see exactly, at least under the microscope, light microscope, a very similar type of aggregation of cells around the object. So, Craig and Faust, in a textbook, says that the cystosome granuloma, the whole picture, is a foreign body type reaction. That bothers me. Why? TB and cystic granuloma are living things. One can multiply, the other cannot. The other one, the amyloidosis, it's a very abnormal protein. It's a chemical. In the case of the wood, it's an inert material. Why should they be the same? Simply because they appear the same. There must be something different among them. So that's the beginning. All right. My opportunity to follow this up came when I now took my fellowship studying in Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. And something like this. My study is for 3 years. The first year is for purely clinical, seeing patient, but the next 2 years must be heavily on research before they give you any credit. After 6 months, my boss in gastroenterology called me and said, "Hey, come here. Don't waste your time seeing patient. You know enough clinical gastroenterology." That is true. Because in PGH, my God, with hundreds and even thousands of patients, you must be pretty dumb not to learn clinical medicine. So I said, "You better start doing studies." And said, "What is your interest?" I said, "Sir, I want to study this gut motility. I'm fascinated how the intestine moves." He said, "Oh, good, very good. You come with me. Let's go to the basement." We went to the basement of the hospital, and I saw arrays of big equipment that I don't know the use of. And it all told me, "Do you suppose when you go back to your country, your university or your government will buy you all this measuring device?" I said, "Well, how can I have to be truthful? I'm sorry, sir, I don't think I can. Our government or our university will have the money to buy all of this." Then he said, "Maybe I will arrange for you to meet a guy in the Institute of Pathology Research Unit. Maybe you can talk to him because this guy is an expert in parasitic disorder in tropical medicine." And so I went to the laboratory and there I got for the first hand meeting with a guy called Kenneth Warren. All right, he's dead now. He died at age 67 from melanoma. And he said, the first thing that Ken Warren, after we were introduced, told me is, "Hey," sabi niya sa akin, "I've been working on hepatospadic schistosomiasis in humans, including the hemodynamic changes in Bahia, Brazil. But I must confess that you and Dr. Sulit did one of the best human study on schistosomiasis of the liver. And I have the paper, your paper." I was so elated. Here comes a provinciano from a small country being told by a giant in research saying, "I think your research is very good." So that gives me, you can hardly describe the feeling when you are confronted like that. Immediately, I love Dr. Kenneth Warren. So, now, I will just complete the introduction about Kenneth Warren because this is very central to my story and eventually the message that I want to give you. Now, Kenneth Warren, as a researcher, is included in the Institute of Scientific Information as one of the top 1,000 most cited scientists in the world. Meaning that many scientists are quoting his researches in their own researches. That's how statutory research. His scientific contribution to the field of parasitology and tropical medicine may be summed up by saying that he and his collaborators transformed a mostly descriptive science into a scientifically sophisticated model for studying the immune response. This innovative approach, that is examining T-cell mediated pathology, represented as experimental advance and was an outlier to the realignment of this subspecialty in the US. He was interested in what, why, and how of the host-parasite relationship, essentially the mechanism of disease in parasitic disorder. So he transformed the way because henceforth parasitology is a descriptive science, host reactions to the parasite. But in our laboratory, having to join, we came up with a very sophisticated study isolating those molecules that are responsible for this reaction. Because of his reputation, the very big job as a medical director of the Rockefeller Foundation. There are 4 divisions, he has to head one division. As the director of the Rockefeller Foundation Medical Division, he established an international research network that tackled what he termed as the great neglected disease of mankind, GND. And that term has remained up to now. It is being used now, pouring out at least 100 billion US dollars of the foundation's money to the projects. In retrospect, this project is now considered one of the greatest initiatives in tropical medicine that the world has witnessed. Okay, now, when I work with Dr. Warren, I think, let's start, these are real stories. For example, when he says, so what do you want to work? I want to work on the granuloma. Oh, sure, he said, and what model will you use? Definitely animal model, you're going to do this in humans. And one of the best models is a mouse. A mouse weighs about 35 grams. So, I said, what model will you use? I said, I know of a model developed by a guy called Franz von Lichtenberg from Bahia, Brazil. One of the 2 best-known pathologists in this disease. The other one is Elvio Sadot, both in Bahia, Brazil. But I don't really know from this description, I'm not very sure I can do it. He said, no problem, he's my friend. Let's give him a call. So he called Francisco, we call him Francisco. He said, German immigrant to Bahia, Brazil, said, hey Frank, Ernie here wants to do granuloma formation study. Can you help him? Technically said, he told me one thing. Wait a couple of months because I'm going to the US. I will pass by your laboratory and I will teach you. So the master came and taught me. Alright, that's one instance. I'm doing multiple work at the same time. And I said, I'm going to start on this study on intestinal absorption using mice. And I said, there is none in the market, an instrument that will allow me to do this study in mice. Too small. What shall we do? He said, you know what? Case is a very good engineering school. Why don't you go to Case and find somebody there who can help you? After all, it was in Case that the speed of light was measured, so your problem will be very small. So I went to Case Western Reserve, not knowing anybody, just introduced myself, talked to this engineer and said, come down, let's see. You give me the specification of what you do. How many cc of percusate do you need to circulate in the intestine of the mouse? I said, 2 milliliters. How do you want it delivered? What is the physical characteristic of the material, of the liquid that you will deliver? Do you want it heated? Do you want it chilled? What? So I made all the specifications. He said, come back 2-3 days. I will have the machine for you. And lo and behold, 2 or 3 days, I have the machine. He didn't charge me anything. And I used that machine. The other thing is, I'm again also doing work on experimental cancer of the liver in mice infected with cysto. And we need at that time, bago pa yung, very new pa ang electron microscope. There are very few people who know how to do it. But it is needed to see the earliest change. And he said, how do we do this? He said, what we'll call Stenger, Richard Stenger. He's one of the most prominent electron microscopist in the University of New York. You talk to him. He said, Richard, I have this problem. I said, all right, you do your experiment. When you are ready to harvest the liver, you call me, I'll go to Cleveland. I'll harvest because it needs special processing. And I'll bring it to me, I'll bring it with me to New York and do the electron microscopy study. And we wrote a paper on it. And then the other one is we want to do experiment on cerebral psoriasis by injecting worm into the brain of monkeys. I don't know anything about it. So I said, why don't you call Dr. Jane, J-A-N-E, is the top nurse at the hospital. I said, Dr. Jane, can you help us? Sure, I will do that for you. So he injected warm into the brain. And this is the most difficult. I did a study on newborn neonatal mice. Can you imagine a 35-gram mother giving birth to maybe 2 grams? And I will operate the thymus. I have never done any operation in my whole life. How can I make that survive? So, what he said is, my boss said, you know what? If there is any specialty that can do very fine surgery, it's the ophthalmologist. They deal with the eye. At that time, wala pa mga laser eh. They still suture, when they do operation cataract, hinihiwa yung cornea sa junction with the ponchong taiba, saka inaalis. And you have to be very good. So I went to a good ophthalmologist said, no problem. I'll give you the smallest needle, I'll give you the smallest suture and the smallest scissor so that you can operate. The problem is this. If you want to ablate the thymus, so the thymus is responsible for giving the code to the lymphocyte so that they will be immunologically committed. So if you remove that very early, the individual will not survive. It cannot resist infection. That's what we want to happen. The problem nito is you have to operate the mouse when it delivers, and you touch when the mother is awake. You touch the babies with your hand. The mother will kill all the babies and eat it. So I have to wait for the birth. Wait for the birth of the babies. Sometimes they give birth in the middle of the night and have to do the operation in the middle of the night. Operate this. And I did a lot of them. So anyway, the successful experiment, I can do a thymus in a mouse but not in a human being. So to summarize this, let me now quote. And because I'm going to my message finally. Let me now quote that 2 paragraphs I lifted. I did not bring the book. I lifted from the biography of Kenneth Warren. It was written already. There's some biography. Here is the quote. Said, kaya ko pinili yung dalawa because I was included in that. Here's what he said. Warren's laboratory at the Institute of Pathology at Case Western Reserve became a powerhouse, launching the scientific careers of a cadre of researchers from the developed and developing world, including Mohammed Farid Abdel Wahab, Ernesto Domingo, Doc Boros, and Adil Mahmoud. Adil Mahmoud just died 2 months ago as a professor emeritus at Princeton University. Warren was a demanding taskmaster. He admitted to having an intense scientific ambition, which necessitated working 6 to 7 days a week, 12-hour days, and amassing academic papers in leading medical journals. One of the first people to have a career-defining position at the Institute of Pathology was the Filipino Dr. Ernesto Ernie Domingo. Writing, and working shoulder to shoulder with Warren, he learned to prosper within the demanding and uncompromising regime that infused the laboratory. Both men were interested in granuloma formation in experimental schistosomiasis and attempted to determine whether this was related to immunity and or hypersensitivity. Because granuloma can be inhibited in animals treated with an immunosuppressive agent, Domingo studied the effects of X-radiation in neonatal thymectomy. Early worked in Cleveland for only a few years, but it was a period during which he refined his scientific thinking, published prolifically, including 12 scientific papers within the space of 2 years, and identified the clinical subjects that will be his life's work. That is the story that I want to tell you. And therefore, in retrospect, what was it all about? What was research all about? First, he really started with a genuine interest to find an answer. Second is that if you happen to have my experience, you were thrust into a very nurturing environment. Nurturing environment. Your boss, the whole place is there to make things less difficult for you. And to top it all, that you are ready to do hard work. Then I think those are the three elements that are very, very important in a successful scientific career. To prove my concept, I tried to prove it when I was already chairman of medicine. This is what I did. Since the chairman is powerful, I called my staff, including the academic promotion board. I said, I'm going to select, because of their desire, see at least 6 people from which the about 70 faculty members. They promised me that they will only do research if I can free their time. Therefore, I'm instructing all of you, including academic, that you should not give these people any teaching or administrative work. And that when it comes to promotion time, you will consider their promotion only on the basis of how much they produce. And let us see what will happen. So I have at least 6 people. And if you rank them in their mental capacity, there is 1 or maybe 2 really brilliant people. Brilliant. The second is definitely above average. And there are some that are average. At the end of close to 5 years, time for promotion. We look at the research output. And what did I see? It confirmed my belief that productivity is not so much the product of brilliance, though that's very, very important. That's important. One may have only above average or even an average mental capability, but that is no reason why he cannot be very productive. In that group of mine, really the average and slightly above average outproduce the brilliant one, simply because of their ability to absorb tremendous work. So, in research, as a researcher, I'm saying is curiosity, hard work, and a nurturing environment. And so, after that, it has been my passion to nurture. I take it as a major responsibility to develop people. And I am not mistaken. In fact, the person who did more work, real work on psoriasis, is somebody I know, or Vega, who just wrote another monograph, studied, continued to work on cysto. And of course, our own Chancellor mentioned Padilla here. He came to me as a young resident. Sir, can you help me? I want to do research. I need a little help. And then he helped, but she asked very, very small in terms of amount of money. I don't know, it's about a small microscope, I don't know. But the nurturing part really is the crucial element on the success, especially of people. Now, I believe that and now just this will be much shorter, a little bit more serious. And that has something to do with the way I'm sure there will be an ethics workshop here, and I fully support the ethics part. You know, I don't think we should do anything unethical. Having said that, there is also a time for reflecting when we are thinking about ethical issues involving research. Because no research can go ahead without any ethical approval. That is the state of things now we have to admit it. And technical approval. That's why sometimes I feel constrained to give my idea about the whole thing. And then let me again read from a real example. This is something to do with ethics. I will read it. Let me start with the ethical review of research paper by recounting a news item which reported that on February 1, 2016, the United Kingdom Human Fertilization and Embryology Authority issued a precedent-setting decision to allow scientist Kathy Nayakan from the Francis Crick Institute in London to use the CRISPR, CRISPR, CAS9, a powerful tool that will work like an editor for DNA. In other words, this technique can snip away DNA or gene that you don't want from the organism. On viable, this is the important thing, on viable human embryo, only a year after the same group and ethicists expressed horror when the Chinese scientists did the same in human cell lines, not embryo. Can you imagine? Only 1 year separate. The Chinese were doing it with cells that cannot be human. It was the cell line lang yan. And yet approved their own work using on human embryo. And they are the ethicists of the institution. So, I think the simple news report capsulizes the problem with ethical review. The problem arises from one very simple phenomenon. That is not the defect of the reviewer. And that is scientific discoveries leading to new knowledge and technologies that are beginning to be applied for the ultimate purpose of improving the human condition outpaces by many years, even decades, ethical principles that may be applied to measure the ethical correctness of such application. In my own particular line, this happened. And in retrospect, if it did not happen, if there were an ethics board that did that, maybe we did not reap the benefit of that procedure. And that is very simple. And that is about Dr. Saul Krugman. Dr. Saul Krugman is very interested in protecting people from what they then call non-A, non-B, which we now call C. B, hepatitis B. So what Dr. And he has a brainer to show that if you do something to the serum of infected people, we now know as carriers, it's capable of protecting when given to a subject that is not yet protected. So Dr. Solomon injected inmates of an institution for mentally challenged children heat inactivated serum from hepatitis B carrier persons in order to demonstrate the effectiveness of a putative vaccine against the virus. I wonder if we will get an ethical clearance to go ahead in the present day standard. But in that, it did happen. And thanks to that experiment, very early on, we were using plasma-derived vaccine to immunize children. And that's one of the advocacies. We worked much longer than the universal health care. It took us 20 years to convince government to inject children newborn with this. It happened in my own case. When we studied the hemodynamic changes in hepatosplenic systemiosis, it involves getting pressure from a big spleen. You know, it's a no-no to puncture the spleen. But you know, at the time, we have no concept really of the ultimate danger. But there is no way of demonstrating it except doing this in people who are very well advised of what to do. And also, we don't have the instrument to do that, so we have to fashion our own instrument. Very crude by modern standard, but nevertheless applicable at the time. So, if you do this now in human being, probably you won't get anywhere on the ethical review. Simply because there are instruments that will do it in less dangerous way, but there was none at the time. Nobody is thinking about it. And so will that phenomenon hold the march of science forward? I don't know, but it's going to be a major issue in this. The other issue is the issue of technical review. There is now a growing consensus over the world that technical review by panels most of the time is not the desirable mode of doing. You put a panel of 5, 2, 1 or 2 completely understands the science of the application. The other 3 are there hanging on. But everyone who will put all the objections to the approval of the research. Maybe because of the English use or the comma is inappropriate. Suffice it to give to somebody whom you know and demonstrated as an expert in the field. When you don't need 5, the chances are the other 3 are not experts anyway. So this is important in the review process. And then finally, and this is where I will close. Kami ni Executive Director Jimmy is with NAS, National Academy of Science and Technology. Every year we have a scientific meeting. Last July, for many years now, I used to be the person selecting the research abstract given to us for presentation. Several years now. And I must say that in terms of number, napaka-impressive po. I think this year, Jimmy, close to 100 yung scientific paper on health and medical science. This is what bothers me in this. And I wish tayo in health should do something. But early on, Jimmy and I started already a talk on this. Somehow, I don't know the progress of this, and I'll be very specific. What I noticed that maybe 90% of the research protocol that I read is about demonstrating efficacy of plant extract or marine product extract, fruit extract, on their effect on bacteria, parasite, and cancer cell culture. My uneasiness there is, in the National Academy of Science, National Scientist si Clara Silianco, or academician, already has 2 or 3 volumes of book detailing this kind of effect of fruit extracts of plant. In other words, there's nothing new to that. In fact, I can tell you, if you want a very powerful anti-cancer drug, doxorubicin, one of the best sources is chichirica. But yet I tell you, I'll ask you a question. If you have cancer, do you want me to use chichirica on you or you will buy doxorubicin? Certainly I will buy doxorubicin. Bakit? Crude extract is very far from utilizable. Kaya nga, dalawa pa lang yung ginagamit natin ngayon, sabong and lagundi. And yet, our encyclopedia of plants with medicinal value is as thick as this. What do I mean by that? We cannot progress if we just keep doing it. Chances are you will find something. But let me tell you, and this is the last one, about the history of studies like this. And many of you know this. For example, this is the current status. Supposing you want to develop a molecule for a specific disorder. With the modern computer, you can theoretically construct molecules. And this is how it's done. Theoretically construct 100,000 molecules, out of which 15 will emerge as potentially capable of doing what you want to do. So with the 15, you embark on a study, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. By the time you are in phase 3, expanded human studies, you are down to 1. Out of the theoretical 100,000, actual 15 you tried, you are now down to 1. How long did it take you to do that? From the 100,000 to the 1? 15 years. At what cost? Anywhere from 600 million to 1 billion US dollars. Pag minalas ka pa and it went into the market, in the first 2 years, severe side effects were discovered, you were asked, withdraw it from the market. So what I'm saying is, Gino Montoya is bothered by this problem. And at some point, we said, why don't we establish something like that, Jimmy? A laboratory that will now get all this potential, good, potential promising extract, and at least develop them up to the point that they are now commercial. It's a big project, but at some point we should really do that. And I know there was a beginning of that. I think there were specific offers from some institutions to help that. In fact, the offer, and let me conclude on this, the offer came when I was Chancellor. Can you imagine how many eons of years ago that was? Way back in 1988-89, when the Japanese were still paying us the war reparation. A delegation of Japanese came to UP Manila and said, we have a plan here, complete everything nandito na yung plano. We'll give you a laboratory that will enable you to do the kind of work I'm studying. And we suggest that you place this under the supervision of your College of Pharmacy, because when we interviewed your pharmacists, we discovered that there are many in your faculty who are capable or academically prepared to do this kind of work. I was very enthusiastic. And naturally, I went to the administrative ladder, only to be told finally in Liliman, we cannot do this. Why, sir? Because when it is turned over to us after 2 years, makawala tayong pera to continue it. But look at the status of the university now. Tayong pera ng university. PCHRD, tayong pera. Panagilig yung sinabi ng DOH, 660 billion. If you use that money correctly, you will have an excellent universal healthcare, because our estimate to do it is on 400 billion. So, those are the things that as a has-been researcher, I call myself has-been. For some reason, I lost my appetite for scientific study of this nature, yung mga chemical. I can understand that, but at some point in my career, I said, wala na akong gana dito. Bakit? The reason is very simple. And this is a quotation that I got from one of our staff in science sa Department of Medicine. And the quotation says something like this: we in the university pay a premium for excellence. And we did very well, because we have produced so many excellent people. The real challenge to us at the moment is not so much excellence, but relevance. You produce people who are excellent but irrelevant to the problem that is besetting the country, which is inequity. And that's the reason of the shift from biomedical interest to an advocacy on universal healthcare, because when you look at the statistics on inequity in this country, you will not be able to sleep. 60% of those die without any professional medical attendance. A woman who is pregnant, if he is rich, has a 30% chance of getting CS. If he is a poor, she will be lucky to be have a 1% chance of getting a CS even if she needs it. In other words, there's this tremendous disparity, between what we know, what we can do, and what we really do, especially in the community. So, in summary, this is a mixture of things that I said. But in essence, I try to my best to look at the human side of the church because for the next 4 days we'll all be talking about executive order so and so, memorandum so and so. The research team loses the human element in which it's very, very rich. And the second is, again, a reminder that in all this effort, there is only one final objective. Final objective is that equity problem. So, thank you for listening and not making a motion for adjournment.
Thank you, Dr. Domingo. May we please request you to remain on stage? And may we call Dr. Jaime Montoya and Dr. Geraldine Casipi to please present the certificate of appreciation to our distinguished keynote speaker. And the certificate reads, the Philippine National Health Research System presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Ernesto O. Domingo in recognition of his invaluable contribution as keynote speaker during the 12th PNHRS Week, with the theme Research and Innovation for Equity in Health, given this 8th of August 2018 at the Camp John Hay Trade and Cultural Center, Baguio City. Signed by Dr. Maria Geraldine Casipi, Chair of the Cordillera Regional Health Research and Development Consortium, Officer in Charge, Commission on Higher Education, Cordillera Administrative Region, and Dr. Jaime C. Montoya, Lead Coordinator, PNHRS, Executive Director, PCHRD. Thank you very much, Dr. Domingo, Dr. Casipit, and Dr. Montoya.
Again, thank you very much, Dr. Domingo, Dr. Casipit, and Dr. Montoya. Significant gains have been achieved in improving the health of the people in the past century. However, despite these advances, wide disparities in health and socio-economic status remain in many areas. A new way of thinking for health system innovation is needed to address the complexity of these challenges. Interventions that are grounded on the contextual realities of the people at the grassroots level must be identified, recognized, and pursued. Social innovation is a new lens to approach the transformation of the health systems. Towards a better and healthier Philippines, the Philippine Council for the Health Research and Development, or the PCHRD, and the Department of Health is launching the Helia Castillo Award for Social Innovations in Health, or the GCASI. The award is named in honor of our national scientist, Dr. Helia Tagumpay Castillo. Her work as a social scientist primarily centered on agricultural and rural development. She also contributed significantly to the advancement of health science research. She was a deputy chair of the Commission on Health Research for Development, the Origin of Correct, and the Global Forum, where she put forward proposals to build the capacity of researchers to pursue equity goals in health. In addition, she served in various capacities as part of the United Nations Development Program, World Health Organization special programs on tropical disease research as well as human reproduction. To know more about the Helia Castillo Award of Social Innovations in Health, let us all watch this audio-visual presentation.
A good way for people to learn about social innovation is to introduce a national scientist whose life and works exemplify this abstract concept. Helia T. Castillo was a social scientist who believed that science must serve a human purpose, whose body of work was devoted to championing change for the neglected and the nameless. In her own words, she was a simple, ordinary Filipina who happened to believe that ideas matter. Individuals to celebrate her legacy by recognizing outstanding social innovations in healthcare. The Philippine Council for Health Research and Development and the Department of Health is launching the Helia T. Castillo Award for Social Innovation in Health. This award aims to recognize the beauty in simple solutions that address complex gaps in healthcare. An award that highlights the impact of the ordinary in affecting meaningful change. It celebrates the change makers and their effort to challenge the status quo within their communities, proving that something unassuming can be innovative, can be outstanding. The Helia T. Castillo Award for Social Innovation in Health is one way of continuing the message of her life story and to inspire future innovators around the country to bloom wherever they find themselves.
Today, we also present to you the soft launching of the Technical Review Board of Manual of Operations. During the technical review training workshops in the different clusters of Regional Health Research and Development Consortia held in 2015, there was a clamor from the members of the Research and Development Committees to have a manual of operations that will guide in reviewing proposals in different regions. As a response, the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development contracted the Foundation for the Advancement of Clinical Epidemiology Incorporated through its project leader, Dr. Noel Huban, to develop the Technical Review Board Manual of Operations. The TRB Manual of Operations was developed after a series of consultation meetings with the RHRDCs, RD chairs, and coordinators held in Baguio City, Tagaytay, Cebu, and Davao. Moreover, a national consultation meeting was held in Cebu that was attended by the chairs of the 17 regional consortia, as well as their R&D chairs and coordinators. We would like to acknowledge the members of the technical working group, Dr. Ofelia Sanyel, Dr. Jose Orosa III, Dr. Roberto Pagulayan, Dr. Franco Teves, and Dr. Fema Abamo, who worked with Dr. Noel Huban to develop the manual. We hope that this TRB Manual of Operations will harmonize and simplify the review process in the regional consortium while maintaining our high standards in health research. With this, may we call Dr. Jaime Montoya, Dr. Noel Huban, and Dr. Ofelia Sanyel, together with Ms. Karina Rebolanan, to endorse the TRB Manual of Operations to the representatives of the development consortia. May we also call on the chairs or the R&D committee chairs of the following consortium to please accept the manual. May we invite to our stage Dr. Montoya and the member of the TRB Development Board. May we also invite Dr. Maria Lourdes Otaiza of the Region 1 Health Research and Development Consortium, Dr. Melfay Bumihan, the Chair of the Research Management Committee of the Cagayan High Research and Development, Health Research and Development Consortium, Dr. Geraldine Casipit of the CRHRTC, Director Julius Cesar Sicat, the Chair of the Central Luzon Health Research and Development Consortium, Dr. Carmencita Padilla, the Chair of the Metro Manila Health Research and Development Consortium, Dr. Melchor Victor Frias, and Dr. Francis Muriel Tuquero of the Health Research and Development Consortium Region 4A and Mimaropa, and Dr. Patricia Candelaria, the Vice Chair of the Bicol Consortium for Health and Research and Development.
We would like also to call on stage Engineer Jesus Zamora Jr., the Regional Coordinator of Central Visayas Consortium for Health Research and Development, Dr. Aretha Adliwa, the Chairperson of the Research and Development Committee, Western Visayas Health Research and Development Consortium, Director Edgardo Esperancilla, Co-Chairperson of Eastern Visayas Health Research and Development Consortium, Dr. Teresita Montaño, Dr. Peter Orbase, Dr. Melinda Tagle, Engineer Normina Pam, Dr. Fema Abamo, and last but not the least, Mr. Ricardo Valera.
Hindi man lang ano yung
Hindi mo lang transparent.
Kaya nga.
Puti yung alog.
Sino na yan?
A round of applause once again for the soft launching of the Technical Review Board Manual of Operations.
At this point, we would like to announce that to all contestants, judging of the poster exhibit contest, both for professional and student category and consortium poster exhibit will be on 12 to 2 p.m. today. All participants and judges are expected to be at the exhibit area at Garden Room.
We would like to acknowledge and thank Smart Communications for the free Wi-Fi that we have in the conference venue, through Ms. Jill Lava and Ms. Ruth Reyes. That ends our opening ceremony. Up is the tungtongan with no other than the Philippine Information Agency Cordillera Regional Director Helen Tibaldo. Once again, good morning everybody.
Gamit ni JM yung laptop niya.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to Tontongan on Research and Innovation for Equity in Health, Experiences, Issues, and Challenges. May I call on stage our panelists, led by Dr. Carmencita Padilla, Mayor Alfredo Coro Disek, Dr. Francis Gomez, Dr. Susan Mercado, and Dr. Ryan Ginara.
Ganun ba?
Abo.
Parang hindi. Ewan ko dito sa amas. Si Padilla kayo na.
To keep us all warm, isang maalab at mapaglayang pagbati po ng magandang Baguio sa ating lahat. That's not loud enough to keep us warm. Welcome to Tongtongan Research and Innovation for Equity in Health, Experiences, Issues, and Challenges. The growing demand and complexities of delivering quality health services to the Filipino people elevates the need for more research and innovation in health. In doing so, stakeholders and beneficiaries should be on top of our mind. Research and innovation results should help make policies and programs inclusive and culturally sensitive, especially for indigenous communities. The outcomes and products of health research and innovation should not only cater to one region, but all regions and sectors for health for all. Today, we have distinguished panelists from different sectors to talk about their experiences. Sabi nga ni Dr. Domingo, they would tell a story and insights about research and innovations for equity in health. as a start, we request them to give opening statements. What is their hugot? Ano ang hugot nila to the week-long Philippine National Health Research Week here in Baguio. So I'll start with Dr. Carmencita Padilla. I'll introduce them later, but I'll ask them first with their hugot. Dr. Padilla, your hugot for this week-long celebration.
Well, to start with, this is very timely. We have 1,400 researchers with probably 1,400 innovations or ideas, and we're here to collaborate. And I think this work is just great. The climate is great, the venue is great, the food is great, and definitely the company will be memorable for all of us.
Maraming salamat, Dr. Padilla. And now let's hear from our very own, here from Baguio, from the Cordillera. We have Dr. Ryan Ginaran. Ano ang hugot mo this week-long celebration?
Yes. Recognizing, sabi ni Dr. Menchino, 1,400. And siguro ang hugot ko where are the marginalized and the vulnerable in that 1,400 in terms of number, in terms of participation, in terms of inclusiveness. So we'd like to hear more voices about the vulnerable populations and the marginalized groups.
Ngayon naman, let's hear from the local chief executive. What's your hugot line?
Sa tungtong.
Mayor Alfredo Coro II.
Una po, salamat for inviting me here. I come from a very far away place in Siargao Island. So coming to Baguio is very much an invitation. And my hugot is at least for research and innovation is where does the local government play in this ongoing interest to have more science-based and evidence-based decision making, and how our limited resources can be influenced by such research and innovation.
We move on to another panelist, Dr. Susan Mercado. Hugot po nyo sa isang linggong selebrasyon.